Good morning, everyone. I am the faculty from the School of Finance, Galgotia University. So, I am conducting a session on the topic of consolidated financial statement. So, let's begin with it. Now, the outline of the consolidated financial statement, the things which we are going to cover throughout this session is, firstly, we'll discuss meaning of parent and the subsidiary company. Second, the discussion will be on the document required by parent company along with financial statement of subsidiary company. Third, there will be discussion on format of consolidated financial statement. The fourth point, the discussion will be on the calculation of ownership of the parent company, and thereby the fifth point, calculation of cost of control or investment, and sixth point, the discussion or the practice question will be taken up. So let's start with it one by one. Now the parent and the subsidiary company. So before starting with the parent and the subsidiary company, we first need to understand that any limited company can be the parent company or it can be the subsidiary company. So any single company is always remain a single company unless it acquires the subsidiary company, right? Now there is two things. One is a company, another thing is group of companies. A single entity refers to be a company, whereas group of companies may have two companies or more than two companies it will hold. Now within the group of companies there will be the holding companies and the subsidiary company. For sure, there will be one holding company and which we also refers as parent company. While there will be other many subsidiaries companies will be there under the group of company. So, if I talk about the very prominent examples of group of companies, we can say the Reliance group of companies, the Aditya Birla group of companies. So, these are the best two examples to give. Now, how a company will become a holding company and how the company will become a subsidiary company. So, for that sake, according to the Companies Act 2013, Section 4 defined holding company and subsidiary company as follows. So, this is like the prerequisite which need to be fulfilled for becoming a parent company or becoming a subsidiary company. So prerequisites are like the first company invest more than 50% in the share of subsidiary company. It means the parent company will be investing in the subsidiary company by more than 50% of share. The second prerequisite is the first company control the composition of its board of directors. It means when the company, the parent company or the holding company acquires subsidiary company, so in the subsidiary company's board of directors, the maximum board of directors will be of parent company only. Okay, as we do understand that there is a holding company, there is a subsidiary company as well, so they definitely prepare a consolidated financial statement, and unless the point such documents are required, it is very difficult for any XYZ parent company to hold all the information. So for that sake, according to section 212 of the Companies Act 1956, the holding company is required to present its balance sheet at the end of financial year along with following document of subsidiary company. So, whenever a parent company prepare its consolidated financial statement, at that point of time, the company also required to have the subsidiary company balance sheet as well. And also certain documents are must to present to all the shareholders and to the stakeholders as well. So what all are these documents? Firstly, a copy of the balance sheet of subsidiary company is must to have. Secondly, a profit and loss account of subsidiary company is also being required in order to present. Now, the third is a statement showing the investment by holding company in subsidiary company. That is also must to have. Now, lastly, a copy of the report of the auditor's certificate is required. So, having the auditor report is must to have by the parent company. Now, the format for preparation of consolidated balance sheet, that we do understand every company required to prepare the financial statement or the balance sheet. So, the parent company also required to prepare the consolidated balance sheet as other companies are being required. Whether it is a single entity or a group of companies, that is must for all the companies to prepare the consolidated balance sheet. So, as long as the format of the consolidated balance sheet is being concerned, it is more or less same for either for a single company or for a group of company. So, let's discuss about some particular which falls under the format for preparation of the consolidated balance sheet. So, as per the formats, there are basically 5 heads which fall under the consolidated balance sheet for the preparation. One is the shareholder fund. The shareholder fund, basically the fund which is owned by the owners, whether it is in the equity form or in the debt form, but it will be a shareholding fund. And apart from that, the profit and loss which is being occurring by the company, that also be shown, and if the company is having some reserves for the future or the surpluses, that also be shown under the consolidated balance sheet. The second head talks about the long-term liabilities. Within that, the liabilities which is basically for the longer period of time. Under that, the debentures or long-term loans will fall. So, if the company have taken any long-term loan, at that point of time, it will fall under the long-term liability head. Third is the short-term liabilities. Within that, the shorter period of time liability will fall, as in like the bills payable maybe to the suppliers, maybe to the suppliers or the creditors, and in the short term liability the outstanding expenses will also fall. So, the next head under the consolidated balance sheet is the fixed assets. So, the assets which the company is being owing or the group of company is being owing, it will fall under the head of fixed assets. Within that, like the lands, the building, the plant, the machinery, the investment will come under it. Now, lastly, the current assets. So, basically, the assets which can be easily converted into the cash will be reflected under this head, or the bills receivable or the debtors the company or the group of companies are being having will fall under this particular head. So, whenever any company financial statement would be prepared or the consolidated financial statement would be prepared, at that point of time this particular format will be followed. Now, since we are talking so long about the parent and the subsidiary, so the question loops how we are going to prepare the consolidated balance sheet. And the parent company, it is actually being holding everything, whereas subsidiary company, it is somewhat like the parent company has acquired the subsidiary company by investing lot of money in it. So, for that sake, firstly, whenever we prepare the consolidated balance sheet, the first working note which we prepare, it will be about the ownership of parent company in subsidiary company, that we will prepare. So, how do we prepare that? Now, for that sake, we have certain formula to follow it. The formula states that percentage of ownership by A Limited in B Limited. So, A is basically a parent company, which we also can refer a holding company, and the B is the subsidiary company. And in order to do the calculation, firstly we will put investment by A Limited by total share capital of B Limited. So, while putting the formula investment by A, it is a parent company, and In the denominator, we will be putting the share capital of subsidiary company, and that will be multiplied by 100. So let's take up an example in order to understand this adjustment. So let's say a company A and the B is there. A is a parent and B is a subsidiary, and within that the share capital at the rate of 10 each. So the total share capital of the A Limited, which is a parent, it is 2 lakh rupees, whereas B Limited, which is a subsidiary company, with the share capital of 50,000 rupees. Now on the other side, we can very well see that there is some investment is also being made by the A Limited in B Limited. So apparently the A company is actually being doing some investment in B, and with how much amount? The investment has been made with the 50,000 rupees. So now how do we calculate? So for the calculation, we will be using the same formula which states investment by A Limited by total share capital of B Limited. So we can very well use the figures. In the B Limited, we can see the 50,000 will work as a denominator, which is a total share capital of B Limited, while 50,000 is again reflecting as investment made by A in B company. So we simply multiplied it by 100 and we will be able to see that 100% is being coming in this particular example. Now this could be the possibility that the investment made by the parent in the subsidiary is with certain amount and the share capital of the subsidiary is even more higher than that. So at that point of time could be the possibility that the minority will come into the picture. So minority will be the outsider, those are being involved. So outsider may also be interested in the subsidiary to spend their money in order to get the benefit in future. Now the second working note which we are likely to prepare is cost of investment and control. So in this particular working note, we are going to calculate about how much control the parent company is being having over the subsidiary company. Because if I talk about the ownership of the parent company over the subsidiary, it fall under the range of more than 50% till 100%. So there will always, you will find a range that from 50% to 100% there will be the ownership will belongs to the parent company, then only the another company will become a subsidiary. So now in this case, how do we calculate it? So firstly, we will put the investment made by the parent company in subsidiary. So if A company has made some investment, we will be putting that exact figure in the working note. Thereby, in the subtraction, we will put the shareholding of parent in subsidiary total share capital. So if the parent subsidiary company is having some share capital, that will be reflected here and the amount will be showed here. Thereby we will be able to calculate either a goodwill or a capital reserve. So how do we figure out this thing? Either a goodwill or a capital reserve. Now in this case, we will say that if the investment made by the parent in subsidiary is more than the share capital of the subsidiary company. So at that point of time, the goodwill will be generated or the cost of control. While on other side, if we say it alternatively, that the shareholding of parent company in subsidiary total share capital is more than investment made by parent in subsidiary is less. So at that point of time, the capital reserves could be generated, and every time accordingly, whenever we make this working note, we will be able to understand whether goodwill, which is an intangible asset, is being generated by the parent company or the capital reserves would be generated by the parent company. As long as goodwill are concerned, goodwill will be moved to the asset side of the balance sheet and the capital reserve will always appear on the liability side of the consolidated balance sheet. Now let's take up a question in the same regard so that we'll be able to understand it better. So here the question is being given. The question states that the liabilities and assets of the holding company A Limited and its subsidiary B Limited as on 31st December 2017. So there is a liability side, there is an asset side of the A Limited, which is a parent, and the B Limited, which is a subsidiary. As long as share capital is being concerned, share capital with each number of share is being costing rupees 10. With that, parent company is having 4 lakh and the subsidiary company is having 2 lakh rupees. While profit and losses, the parent is owing 80,000 and the subsidiary is being owing 20,000. The journal reserves, which the parent is having 40,000 rupees, whereas the subsidiary is having 16,000 rupees. Now, further, current liabilities are also being shown here. The current liabilities are 40,000 and for the subsidiary it is being shown 4,000 rupees. So, the liability side is balanced with 5,60,000 rupees and with the subsidiary it is 2,40,000 rupees. Now, further on the asset side, the investment is being given. Only the parent is being making the investment in the subsidiary with the 3 lakh rupees. If I talk in the terms of shares, so it is exactly 20,000 shares in which the parent company have spent their money. Now, whereas on the asset side, sundry assets are also being given. With the A it is 2,60,000 rupees and with the B it is 2,40,000 rupees. So this is how both the sides is being balanced up. Now we have all the exact picture about the parent as well as the subsidiary in terms of the balance sheet. Now we have been asked to prepare the consolidated balance sheet because the A Limited has acquired the shares of B Limited on 31st December 2017. So let's look further how we are going to prepare the consolidated balance sheet. Now look upon how we are going to prepare the working notes for this particular question. In this question, firstly we will prepare the working note about the ownership. With the ownership, the investment amount is already being given in a balance sheet and the share capital of subsidiary is also being given. So as per the formula of calculating the ownership of the parent, it will be investment by subsidiary share capital. So 20,000 shares by 20,000 shares, it will make 100%. These figures have been extracted from the balance sheet where the parent company have invested in 20,000 shares, whereas the total share capital of the subsidiary is by 20,000 shares. So we simply divide it and we'll be able to get it 100%. So in this particular case, the ownership of parent is 100%. The cases could vary because the subsidiary, the parent company will have control over the subsidiary by more than 50% and it can be maximum by 100%. Now, another working note which we are preparing here in order to calculate the cost of control or investment. By this way, we will be able to see whether in this question the capital reserves has been generated or the goodwill has been generated on. That we will see. Okay, so firstly we will try to put the cost of shares. So basically investment made by the parent in the subsidiary but with the values only. Right, whenever we calculate the ownership we only determine in number of shares. Whereas when we calculate the cost of shares, cost of investment at that point of time we always take the exact value. Now here the 3 lakh rupees has been given and 3 lakh rupees is actually the cost of share or basically the parent have invested in the subsidiary. Now we have subtracted it by the face value of share in S Limited. So basically how much total share capital the parent is having in the subsidiary company. It is with the 2 lakh rupees. And other things will also fall under the share capital of the subsidiary is profit and losses of the subsidiary as well as the journal reserves of the subsidiary will also be fall while preparing the cost of investment. So we got simply 2,30,000 we have received. Now further this is an 2,30,000 rupees will be subtracted out of the 3 lakh rupees. So we will be able to get the either a goodwill or cost of control. Now in this case we can very well see the cost of share, which is an investment made by parent, is quite more than the total share capital which the parent is having in the subsidiary is quite low. So in this case the goodwill will be generated. So lastly, we will be preparing the consolidated balance sheet, and in that firstly, as per the format which we discussed earlier, the equities and the liability will be showing it first. Within that, first we have the share capital. In the consolidated balance sheet, we only put the parent company share capital because all the adjustment we have done about the subsidiary company in the working notes. So further we have reserves and surpluses which the parent company is having as well as the subsidiary is being having. So that is just the summing up the amount, and it is coming out 1,20,000 rupees. Further, current liabilities with the A and with the B also being given in the separate balance sheet of each. So we just sum up the amount and put it here because no other adjustment has been given in the question. We just simply add up the amount and put it in the consolidated balance sheet under the respective head. Now on other side, which is a balance asset side, under it non-current asset will be written here. So in this question there is no non-current assets has been given as long as fixed assets are concerned. Within that we know tangible assets are there, right, and within the tangible assets we have sundry assets. So we just simply add up both the values, the company A's sundry assets as well as the company B's sundry assets, and we'll come up with the amount of 5 lakh rupees. So this is just a summation of parent and the subsidiary. Now next head is about intangible assets. So by the help of the working note we have already prepared that the goodwill has been generated by the parent company by acquiring the subsidiary. This is with the amount of 64,000 rupees. As long as current assets are concerned, no current assets has been given in the separate balance sheet of this question. So we sum up both the side, asset side as well as the liability side, with 5,64,000 rupees. So this is how we have actually prepared the consolidated balance sheet, how we have showed the prepared the working notes well, and lastly these are the references which has been used for resolving all the these queries as well as for the text. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for listening.